Hey, how you guys doing? So, in part of my mission to get through all of the tier lists of the 55% in order to just have them established and work through them, I am now on to the 55% Dokkanfest tier list. And this is probably the third most important out of the ones I've done, although the Easy A one wasn't as important as this one. So, actually, probably the second most important one that I need to do. And let's just get right into it. First, I have Yamcha here. Now, Yamcha is actually pretty, I'd say he's better for 55% players than he is for Rainbow players. And the reason being is basically just because of his dodge. He's doing his dodge, which helps out a lot for free-to-play players, 55% players, people only pull them once. That's his only use. I mean, it's kind of the same for him at a Rainbow level. That's really his go right here. You want to just be dodging with him and you're good. 55%, the best thing you can do is take no damage, because even your tankiest units will be taking damage. The other benefit to him though is that he does leave Earthbred fighters, which is one of the best teams. So because of that, he has sort of a lot of value, and I still say he's pretty good. I think he has more value for 55% people than he does for Rainbow people because of that fact. And there's really nothing more to say for Yamcha other than his dodge. I mean, that's what's gonna lead him. He does good damage. You know, he has a good active skill. You know, he's able to do stuff, but like if we're breaking down what he is and his purpose, it's gonna be his dodge. Next on the list, I'm going to have Turles here. Turles is not too bad. I put him above Yamcha just because his stats are a little higher and he has damage reduction here. Plus he is physical, so he's going to get the 5 free additional in his hidden potential. So it's actually, you know, not unrealistic that you can be seeing 3 additionals, especially when he gets his 6 attack down here. He can build up not slowly as perhaps you would think at a 55%, since he has to do all these supers, you know, get all this ki and build up the same reduction. He actually doesn't build slowly like maybe a 55% unit might. Like for example, Goku and Gohan, who I do have on this list. They're not in the top 10 sadly, but because of them, right, they would be a unit that builds up slower at 55%, making them worse. Hero's pretty good though. He has like this damage reduction, like I said, is pretty good. His stats can get pretty good as well. 160 defense here, 160 here. And I think just all that together makes him good. He can at least take some hits, no doubt. He's able to, he's not gonna like do some crazy, he's not gonna take crazy good damage, but he can hold out for your, like, you know, this guy's one of your main units that you're using on a team. 55%, he's able to hold up. Next on the list, I'm going to have Gamma 2. This guy's also really good. At 55%, I feel he is less effective than at 100. Of course, I mean, every unit is less effective at 55% than at 100. What I am trying to say is that I feel like he has less value to a 55% player than he does to a 100% player. Just like Yamcha, I think, has more value for 55%. The stocks of 55% go up for Yamcha, but they go down for Gamma 2. The only reason being that he is just a very stats heavy character. He's got nothing else, no damage reduction, no dodge, no nothing. He just straight up wants to take a hit. He does have the chance to nullify Ki Blast, which can be pretty helpful for some bosses, so that gives him something to survive. But other than that, if they're not a Ki Blast super, he is just trying to take these hits with pure defense. But I would say he has pretty good defense still, even at 55%. He is blue, AGL, so he is going to get the free 5 in his hidden potential, which gives you an even better chance at getting more additionals. And he also is a support unit, giving attack. And of course, you are going to pair him up with Gamma 1. That is just not a question. Especially at 55%, you need Gamma 1 with him to be activating his links and to be giving him Gamma 1's part of the support, which is defense. But because of this, he has pretty good defense. I do see him aging out quicker than, you know, some of these other units. I don't know if I'd say Yamcha, but maybe Turles or something. It's hard to say. He can age out just because he's pure defense, and pure defense units at 55% always struggle a little more than tech units. And with that, speaking of tech units, we're going to go on to the next unit, which is Path to Power Kid Goku. I did debate putting Kid Goku maybe below Gamma 2, but Kid Goku's just doing too much. He can struggle to tank at times if you don't get enough orbs. He can take damage, especially at 55%. Physical, hit a potential, you'll get the extra additional. He's gonna have not bad defense post super. He's a slot 2 unit, of course. You're not gonna be running him in slot 1. But I mean, his tech is just so helpful. He's giving support to Dragon Ball and Youth, which is only getting better. You now have Bulma. You have the AGL Gohan, and this support really helps them out. He's a Rainbow Orb Changer. He is a nuker. The crit is nice. It's anything where it's just additional abilities at 55% is always welcome. You want to be able to do everything at 55%. That's what makes a unit even better. And the damage reduction here with the Rainbow Orbs. Defense with 3 orbs. And he's able to do an additional right here with 5 orbs, which helps out because, like I said, he's able to do everything. He can crit and additional in his kit already with damage reduction. He has a lot of tech, Rainbow Orb changing, and most importantly, this support of damage reduction received, 8% damage reduction for all your allies on rotation. That is really good. This guy is really good, and for that reason, I can't put him above Gamma 2. Gamma 2, while he gives a support, he's just high defense, trying to take these hits with not a lot of tech other than being able to support and nullify Ki Blasts. This guy, I feel, is just doing a little bit more for your team. While I kind of view them maybe around the same-ish defensively at 55%, I think Goku's just better tech and damage reduction. And then next, I think, kind of obvious, is going to be Gamma 1. Now, of course, ideally I'd like to have these guys next to each other, but there's no way I can be putting Kid Goku below Gamma 2. Just for all the stuff he does. But I can be putting Gamma 1 above Kid Goku. Main reason being that this guy has the defense support. He has the 50% damage reduction. These really good stats he builds up. This multiplies into his defense, so he actually has pretty good defense even at 55%. He can be put in slot 1 on a 55% team. He can be put in slot 1, and that is just a little more valuable than what Kid Goku is doing for you. Slot 1 is even harder to hold down for a 55% team than for a rainbow team because you're not dodging. A lot of units cannot dodge. You don't have the ability to put even 5 dodge in units or the 3 dodge in units, you know, stuff like that. You don't have that ability, so you are taking way more hits. And slot 1 is just so much more important at a 55% to try to have units hold that down. And Gamma 1 is holding that down. I really have nothing else to say other than, you know, his support and his damage reduction are really what make him so good. He has even better chance of nullifying an unarmed super attack, but those are just more rare than the Ki Blast. So while you can see it, it's not something that you're like banking on and hoping for. A really basic unit, but a good unit at that. So next, moving on to the top 5, we have the new Trunks. So my use of Trunks is still not perfect. I might move him later on when a new Dokkanfest comes out and I want to change the list. He probably will move, I don't know. Right now, Trunks is pretty similar to Kale. But he also has a worse base form though, in my opinion. His defense is pretty low especially at 55% in this form right here. You really have to be kind of babying him in this form. On top of that, you do have to bring 3 Android/Cell Saga units, which It's not the greatest team right now. This AGL LR Gohan is able to hold it down at 55%. Of course, I'm assuming all these units are at 55%. You know, of course, every player is different, and you can have differencing, you know, what you're going to have them at. But if you're running this guy's team, you got 2 there, and you just need 1 more. I mean, like, physical Gohan could be useful. Piccolo can be useful, but you're not going to be running him with, you know, the people on his team. It's hard to say. But if I'm just looking at the unit and less at the scenario he's making, he is really good, especially when you get into Super Trunks. He is also, but I would say he is worse at 55% because the way you get into Super Trunks is that you need to be doing attacks, forming attacks, and you have no additional. You are a tech unit, so you get 5 crits. You have no additional, assuming you don't put orbs into them, skill orbs, which, I mean, of course you would, but for this tier list, I'm not taking that into account. Assuming you don't put skill orbs into them, you are only getting the 2. You have the great chance here and his base super, meaning that you will get into this form lower than you would at 100%. You do have his active skill, so it's still not like you could still get it turn 5, right? Because you could. Great chance, normal, you only did 2. But then you can go turn 2, turn 3, you know, his next rotation. You can then do his active, his 3rd turn. That would be your 3rd attack, and then you can do bam, bam, and then you can still get it. It's harder, but it is still possible. It's not like that much harder, I guess I would say. And then once he's in Super Trunks, he's really good. He's going to have insane stats, even for 55%. He has really good stats. He'll be guarding for his first 3 turns. And yeah, this form is just really good. He has the Ghost Usher, which is really good. Yeah, this form is really good. Like, I mean, I don't know how many times I'm going to keep saying that. But the transformed Super Trunks is very good. What really holds this guy back for right now is just this form, 55%, is very sad. And especially the team you have to bring, it just holds him back. And then next we have Kale, who very similar to Trunks. In fact, the main reason I even have her above him is that I just like her base form more. She has another restriction just like Trunks where you need a Universe 6 ally, but it's better than Trunks where he needs multiple Android/Cell Saga. She only needs 1. Although the downside for her is that it's hard to get even 1 Universe 6 ally. If you're lucky and you're running an event where you can run Tech Caulifla, you can try to get away with her. But other than that, like there's nothing going for you here. At least Android Cell Saga had AGL LR Gohan, and you could run him, his own character, as something to help fill it out. You can do that for her. You can run her other character, and you can run them on the same rotation, and you can transform one and leave the other one untransformed. That is a possibility. But at least they have LR, Kayla, and Caulifla. So she has something. Not as good as like AGL or Gohan or anything, but hey, you can make it work. Again, like I said, just judging the unit based off how they do, how they perform. I'm liking her a bit more. 5 free additional means you're going to do additionals more easily, especially because she is getting built up damage reduction from supers. So you're going to get your base super, high chance right here, and then a great chance right here, and you can have a hit of potential as well. I like her base form more. She's going to tank slot 2 a lot better. 6 for his damage reduction and all these super attacks. Even though she's not building super attack on here, she's just able to hold it down better. And then just like Trunks gets insane when he transforms, she gets insane when she transforms. She's then able to hold down slot 1 at 55%, which is really good. She has good defense. You still need the Universe 6 ally, which, you know, again, by now you could probably, if you're holding her slot 1, Kale and Caulifla are better in slot 2. The downside is that both of them are slot 2, while she, that's the discussion on her team. Her as a unit is, you know, she's good. I see her as Trunks. I see her as just being slightly better Trunks, honestly. Both are in such a similar, Jesus, can't speak. So both of them are in such a similar position that I feel like they're kind of neck and neck. It really, I mean, I don't see, there's not a lot of difference between them. Okay, so next I got Goku here. So Goku, I think Goku personally is like, it can be the worst, almost like the worst and best unit for 55%. For him, you are just, that was just the fierce battle link, I just realized. I need to get rid of that. For him, if you are guarding and you're getting hit, all your hits, 10 hits you have to get. If you're getting your 10 hits and you're guarding everything, he is great at 55%. He's able to hold down. You'll get hurt in those first hits, but as you just keep getting hit and you get lucky, it's luck with this guy. If you're lucky, you can get it. If you're not lucky, well, this guy's going to get you killed, especially at 55%. But where this guy can really shine is not his standby mode. You're barely going to see this. But the revival skill. You get a unit like the 8-year anniversary unit, Movie Hero, Tech Goku, one of those units to revive. This guy is incredible at 55%. He is basically untouchable at 55%. There is nothing that will stop him once you get that revive. And I feel like perhaps it's easier to get a revive. 100%. Depends on the unit you're talking about. Movie Hero, Tech Goku, I would say easier because you'll be at less health usually than at 100%. The 8-year, it's about the same. They have to get hit anyways. It does not matter. But you are able to revive this guy. This guy is incredible. But if you are not able to revive with him, it is just a coin flip every time you're running this guy, and whether he'll be amazing or get fucking slammed in the fight. Okay, for the next two, I'm going to put them both together because there's going to be a discussion about them. And that is going to be Piccolo 2 and God Goku 1. Now, for 55%, I feel you could, I feel these two are just on top. I feel like you could mix them around however you want on top. I personally am going to keep it this way. The reason being, at 55%, Piccolo is more of a stats heavy character. He is taking hits purely off of his defense, and that is always weaker at 55%. No matter what, you are always going to have less like basically seeing how good they are, seeing a return when they are just straight defense, because your stats are lower, a lot lower. I mean, you're going from 13,000 to only 10,000, so all your stats drop. So taking just straight defense hits is always harder to do. But right, taking straight defense, you would think, oh, then he's lower. No, not at all. This guy is still insane on damage, and this giant form is just like Orange Piccolo. Now, Orange Piccolo is better because you can control when to do it. This guy will just throw you into it, but still, this will help you out in fights. That, and also his active skill is really good. That, the active skill, and the giant form. His defense is still not like bad. His defense is better than Gamma 2's, who is also the other all defense unit on this list. So he is going to tank better, no doubt. He's doing more things. But when I'm going to put him against God Goku, if I'm going to say these two, who am I putting above? I'm going to have to say God Goku. The reason being is his tech is a little bit better at a 55%. At 55%, God Goku is doing everything except for critting, which is fine. You want defense, you need to focus defense way more. This guy is stacking his attack and defense. He is dodging with 6 or more keys, which if you're running him slot 1, you're pretty much usually going to get. You will be dodging with 60% chance. He's stacking. Those are the two things, dodge and stacking. And then you're going to get the additional, so you're stacking even quicker. This guy, I think, is just going to be doing a little bit more for you he's able to hold down slot 1 more effective than Piccolo will. Piccolo's a slot 2 unit, so I'm valuing a slot 1 unit just really high here. Especially for 55%, it's a lot harder to have a good slot 1 unit at 55%. Piccolo won't hold down slot 1, but he can hold down slot 2. Goku here, he can only really, I feel like you're only safely holding down slot 1 after he revives. Before that, you're really just, you're taking a risk putting him in slot 1. You know, slot 2, both of them transform, they can be slot 1. Slot 1, slot 2, slot 2, slot 2. You could slot 1 if he dodges. But see slot 1 units here are just not as, like, there's not as many slot 1 units as slot 2 units. Every unit is always better than slot 2 than slot 1. So 55%, if you're able to hold slot 1, I'm going to have to value that a little more. And like I said, dodge at 55% is way more valuable because not many units can dodge. And so this guy being able to dodge hits for you, if you can just straight up dodge a hit, that is better. If you can just not take the hit, you're doing better. Because this guy will take damage. He gets hit by a super, doesn't dodge it, he's going to take some damage in slot 1. No doubt. He's going to get hurt. But you're just preying on that dodge. He's like just a better Yamcha in many ways, of course. He's doing a lot more things than Yamcha is, but he's almost has like that similar effect of the representative where you're just like, let me just get these dodges, and all I need is dodge, dodge, dodge. And then as you get deeper in the fight, you can then start taking more hits. After he supers, he can take a hit pretty damn well. And you get deeper in the fight, you are less scared of getting hit. You're less scared of being like, oh god, please dodge. I basically never use this form, like ever. I mainly use it once if you want to finish the fight, or like if you just have stacked so much with God Goku that you're like, okay, like let's go, fuck it, let's transform. Because if you stacked a lot, you can have like 600k defense, then you super this guy, and you know you have 0.2 million defense, right? And so like then maybe your defense is just so high it's fine, right? So I rarely ever use this guy. It's basically just the God Goku form. But that's gonna be the tier list. Some of these guys down here, I mean, I'm just keeping it secret, man. This guy's probably even above him, but you know, people ain't ready to hear that one, I guess. These guys, not bad. Same with them. I'd actually probably put them 11. They can dodge. They super, they dodge. It's just, their build up so long to do, and you have to get hit so many times when you transform. At 55%, he's going to get beaten. It's just no doubt. Cell way too long. Transform this guy, it's going to take way too long to transform, and Gohan is not as good as he used to be. This guy would probably be like 12. Majin Vegeta is still pretty good. Auto Trunks and Vegeta with him. His defense is still pretty good. His damage reduction still holds up well. It'd probably be like this. You can maybe even do that. It's up to you. Those ones are, these like end guys are all up in the air. But yeah, that's going to be the 55% Dokkanfest tier list. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. You know, and anything that you feel that you'd change about the tier list, you know, let me know. I'd love to hear. I'm still up in the air about Trunks. We'll see as I use him more what I feel about him, but I feel comfortable where he's at right now. You guys have a wonderful day. I will see you later. Goodbye.